If you can't get time off from your business, you don't have a business, you have a job. And in this episode, we're gonna share how can we take time from our business, create the vacation, start getting freedom, but also making your team independent from you and not interdependent and not dependent from you, okay? We're gonna first address the myth of the hustle. The myth of the hustle says you have to work 24/7, the 17-hour work weeks. We see examples like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg pulling out all-nighters and disregarding everything from their life except work. And yes, that is a way of life, but it's not the way that you probably want to live your life. So it's all about understanding the season where you're it, but also understanding the power of you designing the life that you want for yourself. So you don't need to be working all the time, because if you try to work all the time, you eventually will burn out, run out of energy, get sick, lose relationships, and then nothing's worth it. So I'm gonna share how can you actually start striving and working towards 4 weeks off from your business. Eventually, I want to get to a point where I'm doing 2-3 months outside of my business and I don't have to be working. And it's a process that I'm still working for, but there's a couple of advantages that happen when you can be able to just take out from your week, which is you have more time for your loved ones, you have more time to explore and live the life that you want, and you can also sell your company because it runs without you. So the dependency of people having to depend on you having to do the work, it's always a key man's risk, because if you're out, the business is taking out, and we don't want to be doing that. So we're gonna take a couple of concepts from the book Clockwork, which I highly recommend. This book allowed me to get 2 weeks of vacations the first year in business, and also closing at $150,000 that year. So it's really powerful way for you to understand, okay, I can actually do this, I can actually take off from my work, but also empower my team to do the same. So let's start with a couple of elements, which is the doing, deciding, delegating, and designing. These are the 4 Ds when it comes to your business. You know, most of the time when you're starting it, you're doing all 4. So you're executing the work, you're editing the videos, you are coaching, you are talking with clients, you're doing sales calls, you're doing admin stuff, you're doing. And if you just do, you eventually just burn out. Deciding is knowing what to do. So now I do this, now I do this, now this gets done, now I launch this offer, now I launch this other offer. It's choosing what happens, and when you hire someone, you're literally telling them what to do all the time. And then it can become tiresome because, okay, oh my God, I hope I hired someone to help me, but I'm actually taking more time trying to tell him what to do. So it's a mistake to think that way, because in the reverse of that, it's actually you have to now start delegating. So when you delegate something, different than deciding is you are telling the person not what to do, but what they are in charge of and what's the objective, okay? So the objective is create a system for social media or post consistently throughout the week. So if that's the objective, they are deciding when the videos are getting edited, who is editing the videos, when they are editing the videos, what's going to be the copy, how are they doing it. And I'm not telling them post every single day at this time and this hour and send it to this editor. I'm empowering my team to say, okay, I'm delegating this task to you, to my 2 account managers that manage our clients' accounts, and say, okay, take clips, upload, create the content, make sure that we have a posting schedule that's consistent and we're able to run by it every single week, okay? And then designing is something that all the creators do. Like, think of the plan, organize this script for you, preparing the presentations, really thinking what's the vision for the company, really thinking what's the next innovative campaign, as Patrick David would say. It's actually designing what are the steps for your business. If you're only delegating, doing, and deciding, you will eventually run out of clients or run out of things to do because you're never innovating. So you should have time for designing. And I'm gonna put a graph here in the middle that it shows more or less, based on the Clockworks principle, how much should you be delegating, how much you should be deciding, how much you should be deciding, doing, delegating, and designing. So you can see there's an appropriate balance of how to potentially be doing, because at the end of the day, you have to be delivering most of the time to your clients. It's just a matter that you don't have to be delivering all of the time for your client, okay? Now we're gonna talk about the most important thing when when it comes to your business, which is the QBR, or the Queen Bee role. The Queen Bee role is the vital function from your company. And all companies have their one vital function. If we think FedEx is logistics, that's their core competency. If we are talking about Apple, their vital function is design and innovation. It's probably design and convenience, or privacy, right? That's why they've always gone, or it's even like the status symbol right now. When it comes to my agency, the vital function from my agency is creating content for the best coaches that we work with. It's take the message from the coaches we work with forward so they can help more people. So taking the message, distribution of content, that's basically the mission that we have. So what is your mission as a business owner, and your mission as a team is protecting the QBR, protecting the Queen Bee role. This has to always be happening. So whether I'm the one editing the videos, posting the videos, or my account manager, or my video editor, or my VA, we are all working together to distribute videos to the world. That is the mission. So if we go back into how can you take time off, you basically have to keep delivering this even if you're out of the picture. This is really, really good, and why you should actually start taking time off work. Because first, after you identify your Queen Bee role and saying, okay, this week I'm leaving, I'm not going to be working. You manage however you want to manage, prepare yourself, work diligently, connect with the people accordingly, and just do the work, right? When you take that, these things are going to happen. You're going to expose all the weak spots on your company. So I found out what were the breakdowns, what were the clients that experienced the most amount of breakouts, what were the things that we needed to improve and build better systems on. We didn't lose any clients in that moment, but we did lose one client afterwards because we didn't innovate during those weeks. It's a learning lesson. Then find who steps up and who flakes. In your business, there's probably a couple of people who do all the work and the best work, and there's most people who don't do all the work and they're not really pulling their weight. So this is a really good way to filter them out, and always be upgrading your quality team, because with a quality team you can go really, really far. Then it allows you to have the understanding to first trust your team. Second, you don't need to be everywhere all the time. And the third thing is that it empowers them to make their own decisions and feel that they can actually contribute to society by their own value and by their own skill set, versus having to depend on mommy or daddy as the boss to tell them how and when to do stuff, okay? You will also find out that you're not the only one who can do it. If you are doing coaching, for example, right? You can have your coaching calls, you can have your assistant calls in that week or in those 4 weeks. Whatever type of a vacation you want, you're gonna say to the team or to your clients as well, is they're going to be taking care of these specific things. I will not be taking calls in this moment. There are supplementary calls that they can be supported by, but how often are you training your coaches? How often are you training your team to handle and how to reply as you in a professional level when you're not around? Because if you think that you're the one that can do everything, that's ego. Almost everyone can do better than you at a specific task, right? You have a talent to do something really, really powerful. And maybe if that's the core of your business, great, but at the same time, it's the biggest deterrent from your success. Because if that's the only thing that's building your business will die with yourself. If you want to have legacy, if you want to stop working, if you want to really have the ability to have freedom, because that's one of the reasons why you created your business, out of service, out of devotion, out of you wanting to help more people, but it's not for your ego, it's for your freedom. And sometimes they are not the same thing. So systems aren't boring, they are your exit plan. So now that you understand, okay, this is my QBR, this is the most important thing that we have to be doing. What are the systems that we currently do for that? Are there SOPs? Are there manuals? Are there case scenarios? Are you having maybe checklists or anything that will allow you to understand where are you in the scheme of things when it comes to your QBR? Who is in charge of this? Who is in charge of doing the tasks from the QBR? Who is in charge charge of deciding the tasks and who's in charge of delegate, and what are the tasks that are delegated to complete that QBR. So you can allow yourself to design, you can allow yourself to think ahead and think outside of the box. Right now I'm in a really beautiful spot because I'm able to record these videos. I no longer have to edit, I no longer have to publish those videos, and my team takes care of that. So I'm delegating the process of editing and posting my YouTube videos and taking clips from my videos for my team, so they can actually start doing that. And it allows me to flow in this, create better systems, create better presentations. I'll constantly be upgrading my level when it comes to my content. Also at the same time, I yesterday spent like 2-3 hours just creating this AI machine that allows us to create viral POV videos without us having to touch and edit other videos. So I'm designing different elements that can support our business in the future. It's super powerful and super valuable to have my space of designing, and I feel more fulfilled. My team's able to take care of more stuff, and eventually they will elevate to a point where they are delegating to more people so they can be more of the designing phase. Because I've hired a bunch of creatives as well, and they want to be designing, they want to be creating, but to be that, they have to upgrade into being able to lead and delegate correct. And this is really an important key. Taking time off is not selfish. You're actually doing it for your team. Why? Because you're leading by example and understanding and you're leading by example and also creating a culture around what are your values. If I say health is the most important thing, exercise is the most important thing, but I work all the time and don't take times off, and I burn myself out, and I'm always tired and I'm always angry, that's what I'm modeling to my team. That's the things that I'm showing them, and those are where actually my values lie. But if I am taking time off, if I'm allowing myself to rest, if I am leading by example, they are seeing how can I be sustainable as well. How can they take time off? When they're taking time off, they will be taking time off, and that's something that we're currently trying to learn and implement, so they can also feel better and feel more aligned when it comes to doing the business, because they are contributing a lot and we're all growing together in a really beautiful way. So to close this off, again, it's a requirement for you if you want to do this long term. Unless you have a super brain and you have a really high profit margin, just burn all the ships, burn all the boats, and be hated by half of the population, as Elon Musk has. If you want to live that life, that's okay, but it's not a harmony, but that's a specification, and it's one way to live. So this is, again, just my opinion. This is something that has helped me. If you want to be supported and have less time trying to decide and delegate when it comes to your content creation, make sure that you book a call with us, a discovery call with us below, and we can help you take more time off from your business. With that said, follow for more, subscribe if you haven't, and share this to someone who might benefit from this. Till next time, subscribe for more.